Howdy, 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 howdy. Are we looking at crippling trauma or actual wholesomeness? Good question. I don't know. I've never played this game before. Which reminds me, I need to put a notice into chat. Because I know someone might just, you know, ruin this for me. And we get to hit the little pin button. Boop. And there we go. Alright. Hello, hello. Oh boy, this should be a fun one. Although chat's not showing up on screen right now, is it? Why are you like this, YouTube? All you had to do is show the goddamn chat. Hold on a second. Why are you like this? Ugh. Yeah. I had to fix this a while ago. And I don't remember exactly what the fix was. Although I think I copied and pasted something in a file somewhere, so it should just be working. Ah! It's all saying, close OBS Studio. God damn it. I hate this.
Snape kills Dumbledore. Red rum is murder backwards.
Is this Anjor? This is Anjor. Hello, Hayami. I think we're going to abandon this chat. Well, no, I wanted to get chat on screen for this one. But I'd have to restart the
Spoilers.
stream.
Jesus comes and suplexed everyone and wins the WWE Championship.
Jesus! Oh my God! He's Jesus! He came out of the tomb! He's got a steel chair! Oh my God! Alright, we're getting rid of the overlay, which means I need to fix everything, because holy crap, I was not prepared for this. Boop. Yeah, this looks like this looks awful! Hold on a second! I can fix this! Alright, first things first, we'll move you here. We'll fix the letterboxing. They're still black there. Nope, can't have that. There you go. Get this side. There you go. It's such an awkward spot, though. It's such a tiny window. You can even see the text that says commission. What do we do? I know, we just swap it out with a different image. Hold on a second. I mean, I could always, you want to see a close-up of the new model? Shabam! Whee! Don't you like it? I have a face now. Or at least I will. It's gonna take a while before it's actually, you know, working, but... So yeah, yes, I decided I needed a face, because, you know, for a while now, I've been complaining about how people, you know, complain as they pop in a chat, and they're like, oh, you're the hat! You're the hat! Oh, I couldn't tell. Well, no one's gonna make that mistake now. Yes, he grew a second eye and a mouth. That's what we really needed. That's what we really needed. Anyway, we'll not use that as the background for this one. Because I still want to use the old model for most things going forward right now. How about this image? Boop. Oh my god, it's huge! Whee! That's, I need to grab the corners a bit more. Okay, make it a little more smaller still. Okay. There we go. Now we just lower it down a little bit. Move it below, like, everything. Holy crap, I have a lot of sources here, don't I? There we... Oh, one too many. That's still, Hold on a second. This is going terrible. This is going terribly. Talk about scuff, eh? No, this... Blah. Oh, I know what we do. I know what we do. There's a solution here. I just needed to figure it out. And I figured it out. By golly, I figured it out. Boop. Just use the Just Chat logo. Or not logo, the overlay. And... Oops, one too many again. There you go. And now, we just need to adjust this. And look at that. Isn't that great? And I can move... Whoa, don't go all the way over there. Why are you... What's going on with my mouse? What the hell? My mouse is acting weird. I can't control it. What the hell? Ah! My mouse has gone rogue. No, really though. What's going on with my mouse?
In episode 3 of Galaxy Wars,
I'm losing control
Anakin
of my own
Groundswimmer
computer.
decides
Jesus.
to eat every last one of them,
Okay.
including the cookies and muffins too. They're like sweets, so he ate them like snacks. Fire Emblem.
What's happening again? What the hell? Whatever. I'm gonna have to fix that later, I guess. Jesus, that was weird. But hey, at least I got it. At least we're in a good spot. Okay, I think we're finally ready to actually start the game. Actually, hold on, I need to check the audio. Okay, the audio is working. It's not too loud. Let's boost it a little bit. The mouse is sabotaging the stream. We ain't playing this game. Alright. I think we're good. I'm gonna hit the start button now. Sheesh. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Hey, just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Let's boost the audio up a little bit more. Ah yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a little bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in the stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. Ah, the blizzard of 54. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hi, Hisao, you came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice immediately. Instantly, immediately, same word. I can feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I remember those days, cold times. Back in my day, the old blizzard of 54. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Who are you? Wait a minute. Iwanako? I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result? God, I'm bad. Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. Uh-oh. I can feel my heart skip a beat. That's called heart arrhythmia. You need to see a doctor. Isn't that actually his disorder though? Heart arrhythmia? Or he has some sort of heart disease, I believe. But we'll get to that later, I guess. My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. Hey! Get your own girl, heart! This one's mine, I guess. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonious noise is music to my ears. Iwanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her finger. Oh wait, is it? I legit didn't remember. Whoops. Yeah, he had... I don't know much about this game. I do remember he has some sort of heart issue, and that's why he goes to the school with all the disabled girls. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. Which, also, yeah, that's actually a good question. I have no idea what route I'm gonna go down. I have no particular preferences towards any of the characters already. Or anything like that. Oh, what was that? My computer did a... Oh, I think my phone disconnected for a second. Anyway, my throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know, why are you so lame? If you go out with me. Oh, I was actually expecting her to, like, be mean to us or something. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Is that how? I reach up to try to massage my throat. This only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Is that how? My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Is that how? The beating in my chest suddenly stops. Uh-oh. And I go weak at the knees. That's not supposed to happen. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Iwanako running towards me, all these fade to black. The last things I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanako screaming for help and the incessant chatter of the branches above. That's it! Game is over! Yep. Yep, that was it! Yay! Just go with your heart for the first reruns. I mean, that's definitely the plan, but we'll see. KATAWA SHOUJO. I've wanted to play this game for like a really long time. I just haven't because I'm an idiot.
Nice job beating the game, Ori.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've always wanted to play this game. I just, like I said, I haven't. I used to play a lot more visual novels too. I just stopped. I think there's an alternate universe out there where I played this on stream because I wanted to, and I didn't know that there were actual H scenes in the game, and I just accidentally got my channel banned because I didn't know and I accidentally played porn on stream. There's probably an alternate universe where I did that. But it's not this one. Thank you, Steam Release, for not having any of that by default. Well, the night is still young, my friend. Oh no. No, I already know the Steam version doesn't have anything. You have to patch it separately. You have to literally go out of your way to get the hentais. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. You were right! A strange word. A foreign, alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. There's also a tank dating visual novel. Do I have that one in my Steam library? I think I do. It's Panzer... Yep, Panzer Models. Tank dating simulator. I do have that one. So, yeah. Also, you mentioned the pigeon one. Yeah, I have that one too. I've never played it though. I mean, we did the holiday pigeon. I say pigeon, but it's just birds in general. We did that one on stream, and I think I own the regular one, Hot Tofu Boyfriend, but I've never played that one either. And I've also never played the tank dating one either. Pretty sure I spent money on them too. Classic Steam library. Anyway, apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that it was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up, though. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. They had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatment. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. That shit costs money, man! I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Damn! I mean... damn! Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited, anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. Though he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism from my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more of a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass that I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness, through the barrier of nonchalance that I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened, only rarely at least. Sure, I felt like I was gonna die, but it only happened rarely, only on occasion. And I couldn't even cry. Oh. Today, the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers, then setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for the moment. Hello, Hisao. How are you doing today? I don't answer him, but I smile back. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. You have all your medications sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. Poor dad. I take it from his hand and take a look for myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? Our poor boy has forgotten how to feel. The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contraindications. I've never heard that word before. Contraindications and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. My cat sat on my keyboard and closed the stream on me. You could say that my computer had a cat attack. Your cat is jealous of me. Tell your cat that I'm a pretty cool dude. Pretty cool hat. Your cat's just jealous that it doesn't have a hat. Cat without a hat. More like. Not cat with a hat, cat without a hat. Anyway, try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this, for the rest of my life? Every day? I'm afraid that is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. You know, seeing this stream reminds me that I have to finish this VN. Yes, you do, Dan. Go do it right now. Or, you know, whenever you feel like it. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all, the little bastard. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please, calm down, Hisao, or else you'll die. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I gonna be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least, not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So, I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called the Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What am I... It has a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, it's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you'd like it. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamned opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return. And while it's not the same one, A special school, that's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help, one way or another. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. Nurses lurking around the corners of the school. They're just standing there, silently watching, waiting for you to fuck up so they can earn their paycheck. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I'd always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. Could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can go back to school anyway, but... no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know now it's futile. I look around the room feeling very tired of all of this. The hospital, doctors, my conditions, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. It really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school... what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try, at least. Clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it is a special school. It's something. It's a fresh start. My life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. Act 1. Life expectancy. That's definitely an odd, oh, I got a Steve achievement. That's definitely an odd, achievement title. Oh.
Alright, bottle cap, where'd you go?
Damn water bottles. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster, assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. Walking is pretty good for you. I would recommend it. So I walk towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park, with a clean walkway, going past trees and the smell of fresh-cut grass and all other park-like things.
Hello, nurse.
Hello, nurse! Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. Ugh, makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. Too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. Makes me wish there was somebody here, so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. So this is like a dating game? Yes! Or so I'm told. It's a dating game where you date some disabled girls, except there's obviously more to it than just that. It's a lot of people really like this game, and I've always wanted to play it, but just never have. More like a visual choose-your-own-adventure book. That's what most visual novels are. Which, I mean, I guess that's still accurate, then. Because choose-your-own-adventure books are indeed novels. It makes me think about hospitals again. How they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. It's a good color. It's not as good as orange, of course, but it is a good color. So why am I feeling so anxious, despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous for this realization I had set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Niki? Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor slappy. And he looks at his watch. Remember having an old Goosebumps book that was a choose-your-own-adventure. There was a fair amount of ways to straight up die or worse. Fun times. Oh man, I love the old school Goosebumps book. Weren't they all choose-your-own-adventure, or am I misremembering? I thought they were all choose-your-own-adventure. The head nurse asks you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me really nervous. They weren't all CYOA? Oh. Thinking of this, I almost missed what the teacher is saying. You want to introduce yourself to the class? Why? I could be an edgelord and just go, why? Why would I want to do that? No, we'll be sociable. Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be the center of attention. By the way, there are bad endings here if you mess up with your dialogue choices, but it's easy to spot. I mean, I imagine there are. Most Goosebumps are just regular stories. I guess I only got the good ones then. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. It's time to meet the waifu roster. Let's go! My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step, I know that. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it. At least not this soon. There's one of them. I think that's it. I think she's...
Let's go dating.
Let's go dating! Aw, dang it. God dang it, got rejected. Oh, dang it, got rejected. Oh, dang it, got rejected. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious, the ceiling is unusually high, and there's lots of space left over around and in between the desks. An entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But then, why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them, only it's just not immediately obvious. Then, I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Alright, so that's one. She's one I mean, obviously, is she one of the girls on the thumbnail? I don't even remember. Who the hell? What's up with this guy? Oh, Alright, that's the class. Yes, okay. I knew there would. I thought she was one of them. She kind of stands out with the drill tails. They're probably like me and have something wrong with them. Oh wait, I already read this. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking to you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. There's one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute. So is the cheery-looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. Ah, I think both of these are. I thought she was, but I didn't remember. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hand, and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. Oh, I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. Oh, oh, jeez. I just noticed. Oh, Jesus, you poor thing. Collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisao Nakai. And after that? My hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that? I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. I should say more. Come on, me. I can do it. Oh, I can't do it. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I said. Though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. Could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along with it, while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The poor student with the first row girl claps on this round, with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. Oh, just do the thing where you clap with one hand. I can't even do it. I'm like trying to do it IRL. I can't get my hand to do it. I'm not talented enough. Makes me feel a little bad. Yeah. We're gonna be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, fine by me. Oh, that's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know. And who else will be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right. Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. Oh, it's you. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi. Hakamichi Shicha. Giggling, Misha points at the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. Looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short, yet carefully, neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. Yeah, she's mute. Yep! It's nice to meet you. He's waiting for a response, but he's not gonna get it! She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk to people," and "Who better to explain things to you?" I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today, so soon. He-chan, right? He-chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits! You look just like I imagined. Hey! Yeah, you look just like a He-chan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi chaps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, just like I stumbled with actually pronouncing the word, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight to class today. Stop laughing at me! That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with school, either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Shi-chan? Learn about where you're going? I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it, half-assedly, but anyway. They don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? Seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Oh, don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. Wahahaha. Wahahaha. All right. Ah, and another thing. You don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Deaf mute, but from playing it, I'm guessing she can read lips. From what I know, most deaf people get pretty good at reading lips after a while, so it depends on how long they've been deaf. Presumably, she's been deaf her whole life, so she's probably pretty good at it. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep, Shizune is fine. Okay, that would make it a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly. So I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier, especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that. Just less so, I guess. She could tell! Huh? Oh right, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is also kinda long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. That too. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finish it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish. Not to mention a little easily more distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me, into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I met Muto, down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard, towards the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceeded to the line. There's a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realized that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. How nice! It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random and follow Shizune into a table, sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. I don't understand sign, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite. You want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guides, you should ask if there is something. I wonder. Ask about the library, ask about Shizune's deafness. I think I got everything they need to know. Let's ask about the library since we care about books. Oh yeah, is there a library in the school? Lately I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but then picks up her smile again. Hey, don't make fun of me! There is! It's in the second floor. We can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they are talking about secret girl stuff or something. Girls! Peh! I quickly notice a conversation in sign is not enough to fill a silence. We arrive in the classroom early, but we're not the first. Oh, it's you. That dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk at the last row. Ah! She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat. I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she were slowly turning into stone just from our presence. Misha really looking at you like you're a nerd! Well, to be fair, we are a nerd! Misha and Shizune either don't notice or don't mind it as they walk directly past her to their seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with the other students, and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. It's not... It's the first day of school when you're a transfer student, and yeah, it's in a whole new environment. I can get it. I can get how you might be nervous and get tired from all that stress. Maybe it's the long time spent in the hospital that made me like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Now that's probably just the arrhythmia. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for the day. Besides me, Misha and Shizune are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hee-chan. You've got to hurry already, since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Wait, the teacher said I'd have to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own buildings. We have to go outside. We join the flow of students making their way down the stairwell and outside, with the girls pointing out other senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually a part of the main building. This is the auxiliary building. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yamaku Foundation office and all the nurses' office. They even have a swimming pool. Those bastards are holding out on us? They got a swimming pool over there? How was that official? Don't be silly, Hee-chan. It's for physical therapy, of course. Alright, never mind, that's fair. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks. Bye. The whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with the actual education. I mean, I guess it's necessary for a place like this. I wish I had a swimming pool. Smiley, frowny face. Yeah, me too. I walk in, hoping that this will really be only a quick visit like the teacher said. On a white door on the left is a green cross with the text, Head Nurse, and a nameplate. You think it's green because you can't reference a red cross in a video game? Like, I know you can't use, like, imagery, but I wonder if you can't use, text either. A voice from the inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded a bit like an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. The room is not large, and it smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around on his office chair to face me as I enter. His desk is neat and tidy, but the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils, and there are at least a dozen coffee cups rings lingering on the desk. Hello there, what can I do for you today? He is young-looking and sort of rugged, but the dimples in his cheek wash that impression away when he smiles. Are you the nurse? Yes. He smiles like a person who has heard this very same question hundreds of times. Why, yes, I am. Remember the Red Cross complaining about games using the images, so some Arma 3 players decided to do war crimes with it all up front? I remember hearing about that. Ah, good times, good times. It says so on the door, no? You can call me by name, or just the nurse, like everyone else. Of course, I shake off my confusion, realizing I should probably grab his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm and friendly. Right, I'm a new student, and my homeroom teacher told me to come and meet you. My name is Hisao Nakai. His eyes light up with a revelation as he snaps his fingers. Oh, you're that Nakai? What is that supposed to mean? I was just reading your file this morning. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia and related congenital heart muscle deficiency, right? Holy crap. He gestures at me to sit down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yeah. Good. Well, you've probably been briefed about the school enough, so I'll just go over this quickly. We have all kinds of facilities available, mostly physical therapy and such. There's always someone from my staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us if there's a problem. The famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow, this is like a hospital. Well, not exactly. For instance, we don't do brain surgery here. His joke feels so out of place that I'm left thinking why he even said it. Yeah, just that it's really weird to have so many medical people at a school. You'll get used to it. I'm not so sure of that myself, but I don't let the nurse know it. Now, let me just find your file again. While he searches for something from his computer and shuffles stacks of paper around, I let my gaze wander around the room. It's the epitome of generic, I'd like to say. Beige walls and ceiling, dark gray laminate flooring, and all the equipment you'd expect from a school nurse's office. Even the ridiculous educational posters are hanging on all four walls, reminding me to eat properly 3 times a day and from all the food groups. Oh God, the food groups. Anyone remember the old food pyramid? I do. That shit was bonkers. What do you mean 8 to 11 servings of grain a day? How many carbs do you want me to eat? How many carbs must I consume before you're happy? Hello? That's ridiculous. Smiling, the nurse draws a thick file from a stack of similarly thick files and opens it. So you already have medication for the arrhythmia. Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening or it won't be much help. Apart from that, do you do any sports? Rash stuff like, I don't know, boxing? He grins to his own joke, but I don't. Well, I played soccer occasionally with some classmates. Alright, I'm gonna have to recommend you refrain from doing that, at least for the time being. Oh. My lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow. But really, I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick a ball around. I guess I never did it out of burning passion for the sport, just to have something to do. Any kind of concussion might be very dangerous to your heart, and risking another attack is not a good idea. Was the previous one caused by a sudden concussion to the chest area? There's no mention of the cause in your papers. Not exactly. I sidestepped the question acceptedly, and he glances at me over his papers with a more serious expression on his face. Still, you need to keep your body healthy, so some exercise would do you good. We have physical therapy and such available, as I said, but I don't think you really need such heavy measures. Just get some light exercise regularly. Brisk walks, or even light jogging, jumping rope, that sort of thing. Swimming, maybe. There is a pool here. So I was told. You were? Very good. At any rate, and I'm sure you've been told this before, you just need to take care not to overexert yourself. He wags his finger to emphasize the point. No need, really. I've heard this 1,000 times already. Absolutely no unnecessary risks. Take care of yourself. Okay. Okay, nurse. Hello, nurse. He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on the desk, obviously content. Good. That's it then. Come meet me if you ever need something. Wait. Come meet me if you ever need something, not come need me if you ever meet something. I'm mushing out before I even realize it. A quick visit, indeed. I end up standing in front of the main building and the auxiliary building. Although, to my eyes, they still all look the same. It's the first real look I get at the other students, so I watch people coming out of the school, going towards the gate of the dorms. There are H scenes, but they're not really explicit. You can also switch them off in the option menu. I don't know if in the Steam version, I don't even think they are H scenes. I think they're literally cut from the game. You have to go out of your way to patch them in for the Steam version, which is what we're playing on. But I was aware of that. Thanks for warning me though, because I definitely needed it. It's the first. All right, I read that. Everyone seems to know where they're going. And I still keep thinking that most of them don't look too special for being students at a special school. And again, neither do I. H scenes, I know school can get like that, but these kids don't seem like they're up to no good. These damn kids. You gotta put up that warning barrier. Yeah, I definitely appreciate it though. Because, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I did not know there were H scenes in this game. So if I had played this in the past before the Steam release, I could have potentially gotten myself banned by accidentally showing one. And that would be no good. Steam version is censored, or patches incoming from the creators. Still, they're better than a lot of games, more R-rated than anything else. Yeah, they specifically, yeah, they technically didn't have to. Thanks for joining the channel, by the way. They technically didn't have to censor it, but it does hurt their viewability, I guess, on Steam. And they didn't want to do that. So they willingly censored it. There is already a patch available. If you can find it online and you can just install it. It's not hard. Not that I've done that. I just know it exists and I know you can. It's basically just dragging and dropping some files. Does that make me one of them? One of us? One of us. One of us. One of us. One of us. I should go somewhere too, to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The wariness in me only grows as I trudge towards the dorms, set a little way apart from the main building complex. There's a garden of sorts between the school and the dorms. Shrubbery, flowers, and that overbearing smell of fresh-cut grass that fills the atmosphere. Ah, the smell of fresh-cut grass. It dawns on my tired mind that the smell feels novel because I haven't been outside at all for so long. The dorm building is big and made of red brick. Like the others, it feels way too pompous for what it is, so I push forward, going inside.
Thanks, Knackers53 for the sub.
Why does it take you 5 years to acknowledge? Angie, you gotta be quicker on this. You gotta be quicker on the upkeep. No, like seriously though, why? Why is he so slow? I gotta figure this out. How much carry to handle soup? I can't tell. I genuinely can't tell. Why? Why is it so delayed? I'll have to talk to the dev about that at some point. Maybe we can figure out why. It takes more time than necessary to fish out the key I was given from my pocket. Room 119. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of the dorm is fairly new, functional, and boring. Just like in the main building, the halls and doors are wide to accommodate wheelchairs. The same goes for the elevators at the end of the hallways. Oh, I love wheelchair accessible elevators, man. They're so spacious and nice. It's so nice not being crowded by people. I poke my head around the corner of the common room door. Inside, a few students are watching the television. One nods and gives a quick hey before turning back to the TV. Seems that only the girls around here are sociable. I suppose that's fine by me. Climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off from the main hallway. Each of these minor halls seem to have a toilet and shower as well as 4 rooms. About halfway down the hall, I spot room 119. The nameplates on the rooms adjacent to mine are blank. I guess there are just 2 of us here. Light shines from below the door of room 117, so I knock lightly. Hello? Is anybody home? From inside, I hear a few movements, then the clicking of way more locks than I thought these doors had. After a moment, the door squeaks open. A bespectacled boy is standing in the doorway. He is looking at me very intently through his extremely thick eyeglasses. Who is it? Blind? No, at least not completely. Why would he have eyeglasses if he was? He leans closer to me until our noses are almost touching. His breath stinks of garlic. Hisao Nakai. I'm moving into the next room. I thought I should introduce my... His face suddenly brightens in realization, and as he stands back upright... he stands back upright, thrusting his hand out in a smiling greeting, almost straight into my diaphragm. Oh, sup, dude? The name's Kenji. I like him already. Oh, sup, dude? Name's Kenji. Hi. I take Kenji's sweaty hand and shake it, still a little rattled by the sudden change of attitude and vehement welcome. There were some suspicious-looking people going in and out of your room earlier. It was probably my parents. Your parents? You sure? Because it could have been some other people, too. Can't judge a book by its cover. This out-of-place proverb is left hanging between us awkwardly as I try to think of some way to respond. I'd say the chances are high enough. He shudders and makes some exaggerated hand gestures. You're a brave man, Hisao. Me? I don't think I could trust the chances. The only one I trust is myself. Does that mean I shouldn't get to know you either? He thinks about this for a while. A wise decision. Damn, you are smarter than you look. Probably. What do you look like? I hope not smart. He squints his eyes and leans closer again, but I lean backwards to dodge it. Never mind, it doesn't matter. With that, he turns, fumbles around for a moment in search of the door handle, and shuts the door behind him. I slide the key into the lock of the door marked 119. Bleak beige walls, white linen, a desk made of some type of light wood, ugly curtains. It's no one's room, impersonal, like my hospital room was. My bags are sitting at the foot of my bed, looking a lot emptier than they did this morning. The closet is sitting open, stocked with my clothes. Thanks, Mom! Also, it seems like there are a number of school uniforms hanging there as well. A note is pinned to the sleeve of one of the shirts. Hi, Hichan. We've unpacked your things and made your bed. They said that if these don't fit, then you should go to the office tomorrow. If you have any problems, you can always call us. Love, Mom and Dad. Aw, they care. Also, their handwriting is impeccable. Well, at least I don't have to worry about unpacking. I kinda hoped I would've. Then there would've been something to do. It's still too early. I put the note down on the desktop and lie down on the bed, feeling drained. Lying there makes me want to read something, but I have nothing with me. I wonder if the hospital conditioned me for wanting to read whenever I have nothing to do. The restless urge just keeps growing until I have to stand up. Maybe it's stress or something. I was pretty nervous about it before coming, and for the entire day too. I still am, I think. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Damn, I have to distract myself somehow, so I won't be this unnatural all the time. Tomorrow, I'll go borrow some books from the library. Yeah, I'll do that. But for now... The bottles of medications neatly arranged on my night table catch my eye. I pick one up and shake it just to hear the contents rattle inside, and then read the glued-on pharmacy label. Ite Hisao Nakai. 2 tablets daily to stay alive. It doesn't really say that, but it could just as well. It's kind of twisted, really. Having your life depend on chemicals like this. I resent it a little. But what choice do I have? With a sigh, I begin my new daily ritual of taking the right number of pills from each bottle, being careful to check the correct dosages. I lie down again, feeling hollow and uncertain, and after that I keep staring at the blank, unfamiliar ceiling for a long time. Doesn't start looking any more familiar, not even after darkness falls and long shadows draw across the room like fingers. The sheets feel slightly more comfortable, warm and nest-like against the chill that passes for room temperature here. Oh, my microphone just got loose. Soon, the lighter shade of darkness that is the ceiling looks like every ceiling does at night, and it becomes the only thing I recognize anymore. The night beckons me to sleep, and I feel the coldness of unfamiliarity and fear creeping up my spine once again. Keep drifting further away from the world I knew. Sleep, you idiot! Sleep! That's cute. I wake up in a strange room. Actually, it's the same room as before. Solid morning light shimmers against the light gray ceiling. I had forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room. This is the 3rd room this year that I'm supposed to call mine. You are feeling well rested. You will gain 10% more experience today. Various things around here remind me that indeed, it's me who was supposed to be the one living here. My bags on the floor, my new school books on the desk, my numerous medications on the night table. I stare at the bottles for a moment, deliberating, until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop out a tablet from a foil sheet. I down them with a chaser of water without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I slink out from under the sheets and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new school uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. The artificial smell of generic detergent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one, a natural one. I'm feeling a sneeze coming on, so I apologize in advance. It feels like a school uniform, as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before. That goes for the other things, too. So far, this place seems more or less like a normal school. Except for the people. I think back to my talk with Kenji yesterday. Misha's constant laughter, and Chizune's sweeping sign language gestures. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure others are. Or perhaps people like them are what passes for normal around here. Oh, hey Valentine's, welcome. Yeah, what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after classes yesterday, so maybe there are clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. All through class, the question remains on my mind, so I decided to ask Shizune about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if I had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. She crosses her arm and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down so that the top is perfect and evenly flat. Goals. Oh, sorry, Shichan. Is there something you wanted from me? Oh, I see. That's a good question, Hichan. My first thought is that means she doesn't know which is... Sorry, let me try that again. My first thought is that means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too negative. Well, anyway. Misha, please don't prove me right. Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do so because there isn't really anything else to do. There are also school events, like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student in the school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, You actually transferred in a busy time. Maybe you can help out too. Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes. I don't know. The truth is, it's a local event, and I'm not from this area, so... She starts signing desperately to Shizune, asking her to bail her out. Shizune adjusts her glasses at the end of an oddly grandiose flourish and starts signing hard and heavy. Huh? Oh. Who cares? Misha puffs out her chest as she shouts Shizune's word out at me with a disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud. I can see heads turning to look in our direction. Not so loud. Human beings evolve with each new generation. The ideals and beliefs behind a festival will inevitably change with time. Now it's about delicious fried food and amusing little games that you play to win prizes. Back, anything demented happen? Not really. We're just depressed about our room being boring. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, batting his long wooden pointer against his other palm like a baton. He shoots a pointed gaze at us. Uh-oh. Finally, noticing where we are, Misha stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. No, sorry. I mean, she quietly quicklies down. Shizune doesn't seem embarrassed at all, though, brushing it off without a care. We are in the middle of class and should start working. That's right, Chi-chan. What? That's right. Chi-chan, are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? I like that face. It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchange between them. Misha's tone has also changed, although it does that every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizune look at each other again. I'm about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with long, dark hair get up from her desk and slip silently towards the door. Doesn't seem like she was working in any groups, and no one seems to have noticed her but me. I glance at the teacher, who's also looking at the dark-haired girl go. Why doesn't he say anything? Hichan, is something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me? Or was Misha just looking at me, looking after the girl who left? No, nothing. Okay. Well, like we were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. That's right, they don't seem to care about us reading. They seem to think that that's too nerdy. You want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay! Wahaha! Okay, Hichan, perfect! The rest of class passes uneventfully. The girl with the long hair never came back. Before I have time to put any more thought into where she could have gone, the teacher informs us that it's time to stop working. Shizune looks more than a little annoyed that we only just barely managed to finish all our work on time. I'm just glad we finished it at all. It's not a contest or anything. Everyone look! This nerd likes to read! Yes, it is, Hichan. Impossible. Really? Really? I've noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signing not only everything she says, but what anyone else is saying at any given time. Obviously, it must be so Shizune can understand it. Her eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hands and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizune. I'm used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really, Shizune can't hear me. But it would be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, she's at least looking at me. This is all very confusing and will take some time to get used to. It's not a contest, because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prize on the line, it's not really a contest. Shizune's eyes flash dangerously with a competitive glare. She stares at me as if surprised that I'm challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. I never noticed before how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly an alluring gaze. Are you sure, Hichan? Very sure. You're wrong, Hichan. Because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence and my abilities. And the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. Wahahaha. Shizune pushes her glasses up the bridge of her nose in a very matter-of-fact way. We've only talked to these two so far, but I like them. They're funny. They'd argue more, but the bell rings, and she quickly gets up and picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. I had almost forgotten that I was supposed to have lunch with them. Oh no, the glasses push. She's a nerd! Where do you want to eat? The cafeteria? That's so plain. Don't make fun of me. Okay, let's go. That painting changed. No, I'm pretty sure that painting's been the same the entire time. At my old school, I liked to eat outside, near the back of the building. It was a good spot, but I didn't find it until near the end of my freshman year. It did not have a face! I thought it had a face. I wonder if there's a similar place to eat here. Misha seems to imply as much. Shizune and Misha pull me towards the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in classroom or outdoors. I saw some of my classmates had boxed lunches. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So, Hichan, you want to know about clubs and stuff, right? Right? Right, Shichan. Okay, I guess that makes sense to ask first. Exchanging little nods of confirmation, they turn to face me again, and Misha straightens her posture as if she's about to deliver a speech. Hichan, do you have anything you're really interested in? Well, I used to play soccer, but I'm not really into it. I don't follow the teams and players or anything like that. As of late, I usually just read a lot. There's a book club, right, Shichan? Right, but it seems like they have all the members they can possibly have right now. Sorry, Hichan, it's a really popular club. Okay, but more to the point, Hichan, does this mean that you don't have anything already in mind? Not really. Good, great. That's great, Hichan. Really great. Ha 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 ha. I wish I could do the Ojo-sama laugh, but I really can't, because that's what she's doing here. I just can't do it. Why is it so great? No reason. Well, Hichan, other than the clubs and upcoming festival, there is one other thing. Student council? Oh god. I see. I didn't know the school had a student council. That was a very melodramatic setup, though, just to tell me that. Pretty sure the two of them know this, because Shizune looks a little embarrassed about it, and Misha is laughing. Shizune quickly retakes control of the discussion, in a manner of speaking, after all. It's still Misha's who has to voice whatever she says. Right. Hichan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we can hang out every day. Shichan and I are both in the student council. Actually, Shichan is the president. I'm starting to get the suspicion that Shizune and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk about this with. As if reading my mind, Shizune quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Of course, we're not trying to get you to join just because we would because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council and therefore have an incentive to try and get you to... So you're admitting that... No, we admit nothing! I mean, Hichan, of course it would be nice if you joined and we'd appreciate it. But even without all that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the workings of one school. Yep, it's true, Hichan. Besides, don't you want to spend time with us after school? I can't tell if she's being genuine, or if this is just really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest, although they are already pretty cute to begin with. Well... So it's settled then. Welcome to the student council. No! You're taking me against my will! No! No! They're dragging me! Aw, see, Shichan, of course it wouldn't go so easily. Yep, that's right. Though, it would be boring if it went that smoothly. Oh well, Shichan owes me candy now. You were betting on it? Hey, my life is not a game here. Actually, in a manner of speaking, It is! Shizune seems very intrigued by this when Misha signs it to her. The aggressive glint returns to her eyes. That's interesting. Hichan, let's play a game. That's not what I said. How about rich man, poor man, Hichan? If you lose, you have to join the student council. No, absolutely not. Aw, why not? Well, because you two both have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right? Yep. Yeah, that isn't my goal. But what this means is that both of you can team up and it'll all be at a clear disadvantage. So I will have to decline. Damn, he's good. Hichan, I'm very offended. Are you saying you don't trust us and that we would pull something so disingenuous? That makes me sad. Sorry? It's hard to tell where Shizune's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. Sorry, I had to check some of the audio real quick. I didn't remember if I turned off my stream music since the last time I was on this overlay. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the student council. No! How about a game of paper football instead? Paper football? Yeah, it's a game they play in America. You make a paper triangle and then you try to shoot it past goalposts that the other person makes with their fingers. All right, I have to ask, chat, how many of you actually did this? I'm interested. I'm curious. How many of you have ever played paper football? I did. I remember it. A few times in elementary school. All right. Never? All right. I think it's an age thing. I don't think they do it anymore. I mean, I haven't talked to like kids in a long time. As you get older, you notice that you interact with the youth less and less. So I don't think they play it anymore. I think it's a game lost to time. So that's this game just dated itself essentially. Ah, good times. We're just old, Ori, I know. You see, back in my day, we used to play a little game called paper football. It's where you make a paper triangle, and then you try to shoot it past goalposts that the other player makes with their fingers. It was actually really fun. I wasn't very good at it, but it was fun. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people, Hichan. And it's also played by elementary and middle school Hey, look at that! It's also played by elementary and middle school children. That means it's a game that really separates the boys from the men. More like the boys from the slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not gonna play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it. Damn, he sounds pretty good. yeah, that's true. How did you know, Hichan? Shizune frowns at Misha, telling me that she probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with her attempts to get me into the student council, but I'm a little curious about what the student council does here. I've never been on one before, or even know anybody who was a member, so it interests me. I also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so maybe it wouldn't be too bad. Okay, Hichan, how about Risk, the game of world domination? I don't know what that is. It's really fun. You fight for control of the world with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizune would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Ah, really, Shichan? We can just play for fun. Shichan hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay. Perfect. We'll see you after school in the student council room. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. I grimace to tell them how much I do not like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end I agree, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell. I'm gonna go now. Alright, see you around. Thanks for stopping by. What's wrong, Hichan? That's right, we're just gonna go play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know. Misha, this all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, it's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hichan. Shichan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hand behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center, surrounded by chairs and smaller desks prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here, or something. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean, no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hichan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha's talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it onto the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Yeah. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from 2 fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Hichan? Shichan wants you to know that you are taking too long to make a move. Go! You've got this! Shichan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. You'll never get Australia from me! I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no! Shichan admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what that word means or how it's signed. So she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index finger against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Ah, wait, please, slow down, Chichan. Chichan says you're going to lose, or you're gonna lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of her shine with childlike mischief. I love this portrait. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. It's a trap. It's smarter to play defensively here. She has a point. Attack aggressively. Is she playing mind games with me? Or should I just go all in for the attack is the question. I will not be outplayed here. It's a trap. It's smarter to play defensively here. It's likely that she's just trying to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defensive setup, and I'm not gonna wreck it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. Hichan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Chichan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious, because it provides a 5-army bonus, but you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Oh, she thinks we have no guts. Ambition, Hichan. Your play needs a bit more daring. Ambition. I was really excited when you took South America. But then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Hichan. You didn't take enough risks. And when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Hichan. Damn. What's it to her if I played too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. I wonder if you'd even be any good for the student. Oh, come on now! How dare you? What's this? Reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not if that's the case. Oh, fired right back with that one. Giving up just like that? I expected more of you. Seriously, is Shizune trying to taunt me into joining the council? Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at any of the clubs yet. And these two, they're a little weird. Fine, I'll consider joining the council. But I want to take a look at the other clubs before I decide. Really, Hichan? You're not just saying that to make us feel better? Yeah. I'm just not sure that I want to. Aww. Okay, Hichan, but we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we could really have fun. We could play more Risk, and maybe one day you could beat me. Unless we graduate before that. It doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining, you know. Surely you're not that horrible at board games. Maybe we can play a game, you know then, to give you a handicap. I might have just said that just to make you feel better after all. Aw, that's cold, Hichan. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Chichan. We think the library is open. It's on the 2nd floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks, it's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. That is a different painting. That is decidedly a different painting, and it's staring right at me. Stop that. No, get away. Get away. Get away from me. I'm gonna take a quick breather for a couple moments because I need to go grab another water. So we will BRB. See you in like a minute or two. We're back. Also, I just realized I had my I had my fan on the entire time, so if there was any excess background noise, I apologize. I didn't realize that until now. Oops. Anyway, let's continue. One flight of stairs up and I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Ah, okay. We're on the second floor, that's why it's different. There's no background noise, so no worries. Whew, good, good. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them? Or is it just somewhere down the hallway? Bet on the ladder and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It makes sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider of this school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it was much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek "hello" on my lips is quickly snatched away. Alright, which girl is this? Who's next? Ah, it's the blind one, okay. I already know she's the blind one. If, you know, the closed eyes also didn't give it away. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of this. Oh, we can't even really ask her for directions. We need directions to the library. She might not be that great at giving them to us. Well, maybe. She might know. She might have a map of the room inside her head, you know? She's been here long enough. She probably knows how to get from point A to point B. So she might actually know where the library is. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent. Although, now that I think about it, our character probably doesn't know that. And he might make some silly little assumptions. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure, taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there? May I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kinda lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. I didn't get to read that. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling. That, and the slight cloudiness to her eyes, means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku? Ah, yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. Hey, just because you can't see it, doesn't mean you don't have to do it. It's polite to do so. I'm Lily Satao. Pleased to meet you. More like Sato. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step up with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. Seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in class may have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Chizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offerer preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup, indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before settling down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to him, like most do. Or you'll come to like him, most do. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell is quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. Or, Sato. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes? Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the 3rd floor, same as yours. Stop by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Ah, like... I mean, sorry. Read the room! I feel like slapping myself for the faux. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem that in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Ah, sure. Sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunchtimes. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtimes, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, though, such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good. That's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it, as Lily does the same. Oh, damn. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Orange? Me? Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh? Time's gone quickly. Sorry? Oh, right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Sao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library so long. Hey, Mr. Lightman. Hey, Skeletor. Is that the Skeletor? I quickly move to allay her concern. Ah, no, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. Until we meet again. Alright, bye, Skeletor! Hi, Skeletor! Bye, Skeletor! A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. You're gonna get lost again. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's all right. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. Huh, this gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then it'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped in the... Yeah, no, I did say that right. That had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. I'm starting to second guess myself reading over here. Gets lost once. Oh, don't worry, I got this. Gets lost again. Aw, dang it. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together, we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. Doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. Ah, what a gentleman. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with the distinct smell of old books giving the place of an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to thin air, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Ow! Oh! The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi Lily, how can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. She hurt her head. Poor girl. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of you, and I was looking for both of them when you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers, as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look. She seems to fit a library perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message, Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived? Right. They finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the topic I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Does she need to check out her book? Or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao, right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How's it any responsibility at all? I don't get. But her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot and tell me where the light novels are. Holy shit. But, so there are a lot of books in Braille here? I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops in my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or a fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that'd be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. I spend more on new books than on my salary. And then I have to organize and shelve all of them. Yep, sounds about right. It's so troublesome and they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. I don't think that's the kind of thing you're supposed to say in front of the students. Call it a hunch. I don't think you're supposed to say that. A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would like to have those books if it's alright with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding out one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily in snuck in. Hold on, sorry, let me try that again. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily in snuck in with us in here. Unless it was here to begin with. I still butchered that. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk, either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on top of several beanbags. I had a feeling it was going to be her, not going to lie. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. The way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface. Before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She is a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts, looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. What the hell? This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, at least a third, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. The eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair, until they meet her own eyes. For a second, I am shocked and divert my eyes to the book in her hands before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember what I walked up to her for. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. Yeah, let's try not to draw attention to it. Let's just introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm new here. We're in the same class. I don't know. These both don't seem like bad options. Let's just introduce ourselves. I just transferred here the other day. Maybe you don't remember? I did a self-introduction too. Man, you're screwing this up. The girl still doesn't say a word, but simply stares at me, wide-eyed. I'm still getting used to the place. I'm trying to meet as many people as I can. So, what's your name? Hanako. Her speech is stuttering and so quiet that it is barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. A little bit. Hanako, eh? So what are you reading? She gently tips the book backwards so that I can read the title, at the same time hiding her face behind it. She must have noticed me staring before. Life of Pi. I've never heard of it before. What's it about? A boy, and a tiger, and a boat! Yeah, and a boat. I can see this taking some time. Sounds interesting. Is it any good? She nods from behind the book, but stays silent. She looks kinda tense. A bit like Yuko earlier, but in a different way. More like petrified with terror, I'd say. So the mystery delinquent girl turned out to be anything but, and she's quivering in a way that makes it look like she's mortally afraid of me. Give her a break, dude. She's very clearly not good with people. The only way out of this, as far as I can tell, is try to get a normal conversation going. Okay. Is it a library book? I'm looking for new ones to read, but there's just so many. No, it's mine. Oh, So do you come here often? A huge, huge blush spreads on Hanako's face and her eyes widen far larger than I thought was possible for eyes to do. Uh-oh. Did she interpret my lame attempt at small talk as a feasible attempt to pick her up? As a feeble attempt to pick her up? I mean, I didn't mean it like that. She's gonna run away. I'm gonna go do something! Called it! Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs towards the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. Run away! By the time I reach the counter, she is nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you see or notice a girl run past here? He had noticed. He corrected himself. Maybe. What did she look like? Long dark hair, kind of shy. She had, well, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuko, would you excuse me? I had better try to find her. Sure, I'll just hold on to these until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. You fucked up. Right, I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing, I just talked to her, tried to get to know her. Didn't even manage to get started. Yuko sighs and looks awfully bothered, even more so than she did before. Oh god! I guess you weren't wrong so much as tactless. That's what I'm saying! Tactless? That girl is a bit of a special case. It's like she never really talks to anyone. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder. It's just how she is, I think. Yuko doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. Perhaps I was being a little tactless after all. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casually only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room. Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. It makes me smile. She blushes heavily. What? Did that sound stupid? No. It sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us has anything to add, so Yuko fills the silence by shuffling some papers around. People who have papers on their desks really like doing that. Did you find any books? It should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing. But I have to do it. I hope that's not too much of an inconvenience for you. Oh yeah, I want some books, but I left them over there because... I'll just go get them. I fetched my stack of books from beside the beanbags where Hanako and I were sitting and returned to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? I surprise myself with that too, honestly. At least, when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I just kinda started reading books to fill that time. Couldn't do much else. I see. But she doesn't say anything else and just checks out my books for me. I guess this is what they call tact. Holding the library books with one arm, I trawl my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind startles me, making me nearly drop the books I'm carrying, or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? I turn around and see who is talking to me. It's Genji. He seems to be in a friendly mood. Oh, excuse me. Although the light glinting off his glasses in the dark gives him a sinister look. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously. Who is me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you some new guy again? His voice is suddenly strained and quick. Yes, but we've met before. Yesterday. I don't think so. I would remember someone who I met only yesterday. When was that? What day is it today? I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what? Prove that we've met before. You live across the hall. You're Kenji. Kenji jumped back, his eyes filled with an uncomprehending fear. How do you know my name? Damn, this can only mean one of two things. Either we have met, and you are telling the truth, and I just can't remember it. Or you're a spy! He pauses. A psychic spy. His eyes dart around me, trying to peek into my room, though it's hard to believe he can't see anything through those thick glasses. His mood swung from friendly to manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic. How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader. Kenji points a finger on my face damningly. Unlike you! Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room. Lies! If you think you can pass this Sao because I'm legally blind, you are sorely mistaken. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real slim, maybe at a distance, but who do you think you're kidding? I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him. Exasperated, I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh. Stay there. Kenji comes closer, one careful step at a time. I stay still, lest he assault me physically, although I doubt he could do much damage even if he did. Oh wait, I see it now. Damn, it really is you. Sighing again, then once again, for good measure, I step backwards, just in case. What's up, man? You don't look too good, I think. Something wrong? I don't know. Just had something happen. Just had something stupid happen to me. A few stupid things, actually. Even if you discount this one. I can't get a proper touch on other people here. And I have no idea if it's because of me or because of them. It's because of you, dude. I don't know why I'm telling this to Kenji. It's not like we've had any contact either. Ugh, that's rough, dude. Yeah, sorry about calling you a psychic spy and all. But you can never be too careful. It's the hard reality we live in. It's the hard reality we live in. I'm slowly starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living in the same reality as the rest of us. You see, this is how the world... Oh, sorry. This is how it is, this world. There's no justice, you see. Even when I lose, I win. Because I don't lose the lesson. What does that even mean? It doesn't matter. He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand. With a wave of my hand, of a flick of my dick. So what happened? Why the long face? Do you have a long face? It's nothing. I just scared some girl off accidentally. Literally, too. She actually ran away from me. It was my fault, really, I think. I'm not really used to all this yet. A girl? A cute one. Cute? It's a hard question. She had a nice body and really beautiful hair. But the face... I guess it could go either way. I think she's cute. She was cute. Yeah, cute, I guess. I knew it! There were a lot of cute girls here. A strangely disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of this school. Try to warn you, man, but did you listen? I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets? Yes, dark secrets. Extremely dark. Like a black hole. Have you noticed that the number of girls in this school is slightly but significantly higher than the number of boys? It's like 60-40. He turns his head to the left and stares off into the distance at nothing. Why is it like this? I mean, to the untrained eye, it doesn't appear to be that bad. But that is a full 20%. One would think that a school with such a huge pool of women would be a man's dream. But no. What I am about to tell you could blow your mind. Are you ready? I don't know where this is going, but I think I won't be missing much by cutting out now. No, I'm not ready. I only get as far as turning the doorknob before Kenji starts talking again, showing that he doesn't really care if my mind is blown or not. I believe that this school is a battleground, the site of a feminist infiltration. This disparity in the number of men to women is a clear sign of how far they have come. In case this Cold War turns hot, they will have superiority in numbers. Just another skirmish in the internal war against the forces of the feminists. They're everywhere. In Japan, women outnumber men. It's not a 60-40 split, but it's only a matter of time, man. Even in America, women are the majority by a hair. They're building up their numbers. In the past, the buildup of a military has always been the clearest sign of imminent war. Japan is just the first step. Our economy is badass, and the country itself is small and isolated, yet a huge part of the Pacific in terms of political value. The perfect target. They are so cunning, as expected of women. Soon the day will come when... Kenji's voice trails off ominously. That is why you can't trust them. They will string you along and then kill you. Just as they... My damn mic. Just as they killed me. You will end up just like me. Oh, hell no! I can't stop myself from blurting it out. Hey, what the hell does that mean? You said it, not me. It's the best I can think of. So? You're not supposed to say something like that. Damn, so rude. Where was I? Oh yeah. Vast feminist conspiracy. Stop it. Stop. I lost you way back there somewhere. Somewhere around feminist infiltration. Too hard to follow? It's cool. I have some graphs and stuff in my room. And puppets. You like puppets? No puppets. You don't like puppets? Okay. Graphs are still cool though, right? He speaks energetically, responding almost before I'm done talking, moving his hands in an animated way as he continues to rant on. This is too strange. I had him pegged as relatively normal, but it's clear that I was wrong. Something on your mind, dude? Just thinking about what it's like to be the last sane man in an insane world. Kenji frowns, looking deeply upset. You mean that's you? That can't be, because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. That is my dream. You can't just steal a man's dream. What the? Oh, sorry. What the hell? There can't be two last sane men. It would invalidate the word last. And that is kind of important. There can only be one. Like in that foreign movie, where there could only be one. And in the end, there's only one dude left. Because that was the point. I have never seen anyone talk so heatedly, so defensively, about absolutely nothing before. Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. I also have a list of the other dark and complex conspiracies that the school holds, as tangled as... Quick, finish my analogy for me. Be a pal. I'm going to go to bed now. It's extremely late. Doesn't sound like an analogy, but whatever. I like you. You seem like a cool dude. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when I try to explain the vast feminist conspiracy to them. Denial is a terrible thing. Later. He claps me on the back and then vanishes into his room so quickly and quietly it's like he didn't even open the door, but instead walked right through it like a ghost. I don't know if I can fully digest what just happened, so I give up and just go to my room, kicking off my shoes before falling face first into bed. It takes me some time to relax and get up so I can get started on homework. It's because the sheets are cool and comforting against my cheeks, and it feels good just lying there with my eyes closed. This school is like some kind of bizarre and surreal island. It's isolated on top of a mountain, and each person is stranger than the last. I just can't seem to fit in. What irony. One would think that fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anywhere else would be easy. Maybe I'm trying too hard. Although I say that, it doesn't help take the edge off, and the words are left echoing off my empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. This place really is more a school and less a hospital pretending it's a school than I thought it would be. If nothing else, the scenery is beautiful. I open one eye, seeing the school books and bottles of pills arranged side by side on my desktop. Maybe this place is too much like a normal school after all. I feel very tired this morning, probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha, I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today is going to be heavy. You are no longer well rested. I don't have a problem with that now, though. Shizune and Misha might jump on me trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try, and I don't have an answer for them if they do, so this situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat, but no one looks at her. Teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. He does, however, stop us to say that we're going to break into groups again. I turn my head and see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. This is a smile that says, "We have you now. There is no escape." Yi-chan, it looks like we're together again! Yay yay! Misha leans sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now unless I were to jump through the window. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. What's wrong, Hee-chan? Oh, Hee-chan, have you been thinking about what we said yesterday? You said that you would think about joining the student council, didn't you? It's okay, Hee-chan. We were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you to already have an answer for us this early, right? Right? I'm so happy you two are able to have a laugh at my expense. I'm even more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two of you can be. Now that that's over, Shizune snaps back into serious mode and smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. When I actually look at this stuff, it's mostly just reading. In fact, there are only two problems. I almost want to say something about how her rush to get started seems a bit much, considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is and simply doesn't care. Yeah, it seems like the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving the problems. It looks like she's working alone. Can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable. Hey, that girl over there. Huh? Who? Nichan. Her, Hanako. Over there. Does she always work alone? I think so. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone? I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something. No, I don't think that would be a good idea. Why not? Shishan wouldn't get along with her. Why? Misha shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds very strange. It's nervous, but still has that lilting up and down quality present in everything she says. Just because, Hichan. By now, Shizune has noticed our conversation, and it makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything she has been saying this whole time. What, Chichan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not gonna say that. You said it anyway. I know, Hichan. It's fine if you overhear. I wonder if this is Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand a thing Shizune is saying, and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time, so there is never a conversation Shizune will be left out of? Anyway, we should start on the problems now. We finish with time to spare, and I decide to ask if there are any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly, the food so far has been subpar. This sends Shizune and Misha arguing among themselves about their favorite restaurants. All of them are downtown, so I don't think we have to go all the way there. And what about the bill? Are they just arguing for the fun of it? Maybe. They seem so distracted by it that they don't even notice the start of the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder towards the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in the class is busying themselves with a lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks. The ones with actual boxed lunches mixed in and chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But when I watch Hanako, it feels that I'm the only one who can see her. Almost as if she was invisible. Sorta hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I see her look over her shoulder towards the classroom's rear door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I've started watching her. She knows. I guess she's waiting for someone. What to do? I probably shouldn't bother her, but I want to go say hi. I still feel bad for making her run away yesterday, so I'd better say something. Hey there, Hanako. Hisao, she remembered my name! Well, at least, yeah, at least she remembers my name. Hey, I just wanted to apologize for yesterday. I didn't mean to startle you or anything. I'm just new here and thought I should get to know my classmates. As Hanako looks up at me, I notice her scarring once more. It's a little bewildering that you can barely notice it from across the room, but it's so noticeable from close up. That's okay. It was my fault. No, that wasn't anyone's fault. It just kind of happened. It was your fault, dude. So are you waiting for someone? I saw you looking at the door before. Stop bringing too much attention to the fact that you're watching her. Yes, Lily. Oh, you mean Lily, the blind girl? Oh my god. You lack... No wonder... This is what the librarian meant when she said you lack tact. And Hanako only nods in response, and I can't help but wonder if defining people through their disabilities is of help. Yes, it is! I guess that explains why Lily took off after her yesterday. She seems like a nice girl. Are you two friends? Yes. As if hoping for Lily to appear, she checks over her shoulder again. I think I'm making her nervous again. I hope I'm not disturbing you right now. You are! Stop bringing attention to everything! Oh my god, you're so bad at this! No, that's not it. It's just easier if Lily doesn't come here. What? Oh, because it's hard to get around the classroom? Not really. Hanako's gaze just past my shoulder and towards Shizune. Shizune? Hanako nods again. What about her? Don't they get along? Hanako shakes her head. Clearly, this is something she doesn't want to talk about. It does make a strange sort of sense. Shizune and Lily not getting along well. Communication between the two would be all but impossible. It's hard enough talking to Shizune through Misha, even when you can see whose hands are talking. Hanako is so focused on Shizune that I'm first to notice Lily at the door. Oh, she's here now. Hanako spins around to confirm this. Upon seeing Lily, she moves quickly to the door. Lily. Ah, Hanako, good morning. Is the president here? Yes. Hanako glances over at her shoulder at Shizune again, as if to confirm she can't hear them, even though that's impossible. I suppose we'd best be off then. Lily's sigh and tone of what seems like frustration makes me raise an eyebrow. I guess there's some kind of enmity between the two. It's intriguing, but that's not really something I'd ask about. I'm sure if they wanted me to know, then they would have told me. That's the first smart thing you've thought of this entire conversation. It's only my third day here. I should be trying to make friends, not finding out why people are enemies. Still, it's a little funny to find out that this school has little feuds, just like my old high school. Even if people are more tolerant of others, they're still going to get at each other's nerves. Hey Lily, how are things? I'm sorry I made you run off yesterday. Oh my, is that Hisao? I didn't realize you were here. Yeah, I don't think I said anything the whole time. It seems that Lily is a little embarrassed about being so frank in front of me. Sorry, Lily, I thought you realized. No, it's alright. Hisao, please don't worry about yesterday. It was just a misunderstanding. If you say so. I'm still working this place out. Well then, I think you'll find most people here a lot more forgiving than elsewhere. If you're feeling a little confused, please don't be afraid to ask questions. Sure, I remember that. Lily? What? Lily gives a small nod of acknowledgement. I'm sorry, Hisao, but we must be off. Hanako really doesn't look all that comfortable here right now, and Lily still seems a little embarrassed. I wonder if my apologies really made any impact. Mind if I accompany you two? I know I'm kind of pushing it, but Lily hums quietly, still smiling. I'm sure that we could accommodate you, can't we, Hanako? She looks at Lily, then at me, and then she freezes, wide-eyed. Sure. Well then, shall we go? I'm sure Lily wouldn't do this so easily if she saw how scared Hanako looks, but but it can't be helped now. Declining after the deal is sealed would only cause confusion and problems. So we leave, all three, together. Lily walks besides the wall, letting her cane gently tap against it every now and then. Hanako comes right along beside her, so close that she's practically half hugging her as they go. Though it must make her walking that much harder, Lily takes it in stride. As we turn around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a steam train. Hanako shrieks a little, and my vision briefly goes black. Ouch! Oh my god, did you... No. Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen down on the hallway floor. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Or she does, but they are not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs end in shins, and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up. Oh my god, did your mother give birth on a minefield? Sorry, I couldn't resist saying it. I couldn't resist saying it. Oh man, hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry. She's looking really apologetic, in the hurt puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or anything, since hurt puppies are my weak spot. It's okay, don't worry about— Ouch! I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. I have you know that being born in the pumpkins is just like that. Oh no! Don't overexert yourself. Don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. Try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. Damn, we almost got killed by her! Or who knows? Maybe we will. Uh-oh. It seems normal. Hey, should I get a nurse? Good job, you just died. The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds, dumbfounded, until I realized that I probably looked worse off than I really was. Doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No need, I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time and take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me. Big time, but it's nothing more than that. Sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard. It's okay, I said I was fine, nothing's broken, no harm done. That's good, Hisao, what happened? She's not quite up to speed for obvious reasons, but she sounds very worried. More than what the situation deserves, really. Someone just bumped into me, nothing serious, just winded. Sorry, it's my fault. I was just gonna get some stuff and I was in kind of a hurry. That someone here is Emmy, isn't it? The little girl coughs quietly, and shuffles her plastic or metallic feet, looking down at them before saying anything. Hi, Lily, Nanako. I guess the girls know each other. Do please try to be more careful. You might be sturdy enough to endure these sorts of accidents, but there are other people who aren't. The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously like a little child caught misbehaving. It's so cute, I find myself smiling. I know that, I was just... Oh, I gotta go. Teacher will have my head. I promised to help with printouts, but I went running instead. Sorry, but I've got to change and everything. Before any of us can say a thing, Emmy has already bolted away, leaving the hallway eerily quiet. Does that kind of thing happen often around here? There are more rules in Yamaku than usual for running in corridors. But that rarely stops Emmy, it seems. She shakes her head weakly and offers a slight, composed smile. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop her, I'm afraid. Shall we be off, then? Lily heads off along the highway, and Hanako hurries after her. The route to the room the two use for tea is fairly simple to retrace, being still fresh in my mind from yesterday. Oh yeah, Lily did mention that she often has tea with one other person, and I now know who that person is. The one girl to stop all the Fire Emblem fans in their tracks. Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. Lily and Hanako quickly go about the business of making lunch. Before I can even open my small bag of food, Lily's busying herself with her thermos and tea bags as Hanako is setting up both of their lunch boxes. So is this what you meant by coming here almost every day? Yes, Hanako and I usually have lunch here. It suits both of us, so we ended up using this room regularly. After seeing Hanako's reaction to me over the past couple of days, I can understand why that is a boon. That and Lily being able to get some quiet away from her class as well. I take my seat last after Lily's poured the tea for us and sits down. The more time I spend with these two girls, the more I think they're a perfect foil to Misha and Shizune. Even without a voice, Shizune is direct and brash, and Misha seems to get along with everyone. On the other hand, Lily is soft-spoken and relaxed, while Hanako seems to be the shyest girl I've ever met. So how are you faring in Yamaku, Hisao? You seemed a bit flustered before. Apart from getting lost every now and again, and being crash-tackled outside my classroom, fine, I guess. You looked pretty hurt before. Are you really okay? For a brief moment, I consider telling Hanako and Lily about my condition, but then I hold it back. I can't tell why, but for some reason I feel uncomfortable talking about it to these relative strangers, even if they have been pretty friendly. Oh gee, you don't like talking about your condition? Man, I'm sure literally everybody else feels the same way. Jesus Christ, did your mom get first on a minefield? I actually said that. I'm not gonna lie. I did say that. I did. I remembered it. I said it. I have no shame. Yeah, it's nothing. I was just a bit startled. Judging from the two girls' expressions, I don't think that they were buying it. But, in what I assume is their way of respecting my privacy, they don't press the matter. I guess that this is one of the unwritten rules around here. Don't ask. Even if people's conditions are obvious, like Hanako's, there's still bound to be a story involved. Everyone has things that they don't feel comfortable speaking about, and I think everyone here recognizes that. So, how long have you been in the school? You both seem to know your way around pretty well. Well, I've been here since the start of high school, but only moved into the dormitories a year ago. Hanako joined at the start of high school as well, and moved to the dormitories when she did, if memory serves me right. That's right, since high school. So you've known each other since then? Since I moved, yes. Hanako lives next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Right? Yeah, of course. Living next to someone is probably reason enough to befriend them, though I'm guessing that Lily's blindness played a part in that as well. Can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who has to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. It isn't long before the bells are signaling the end of the break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them out. I guess I'd better be off. Are you gonna go with Hisao, Hanako? Hanako looks up at me, and for a second, I can see that she's considering skipping class. Maybe just to avoid walking to the classroom with me. Yes. I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is delicate to the point of breaking if looked at in the wrong way. Makes me a bit nervous too, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can. We should hurry then. Class has already started by the sound of it. Lily gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane. Hanako and I filing out before her. We walk quickly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's 3-2 classroom, she turns towards me. Hisao, thank you for sharing lunch with us today. My pleasure, Lily. And with that, we part ways, Lily entering her classroom and leaving Hanako and me to make off to our own. She's still looking like she wants to run away. So, do you really want to go back to class now? Yes? Okay then. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. And Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to the class and walk in. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. This is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on here. We make our way to our seats, and I notice that Misha and Shizune are both missing as well. I wonder if it's some sort of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded to the unique students of this school. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person, despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. Well, it's a good thing I am certainly a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there's still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd. At the hospital, I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves, and I'm left alone with the teacher. Muto is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen. Raising his eyes from his paper briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him, addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there is nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he is holding and arranges his papers into a stack, clacking it against the desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment, I'm reminded of Shizune, but the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed. Much more routined. You have no plans? No, I consider joining a club, but I don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest. I guess. I don't know how to continue from there. Muto looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I just have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about. The disabilities. It's like, it feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone, even if they're blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might seem at first glance. He says the same thing as Yuko did, 'cause he's right. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha? Or Hanako. It's not like you can ignore her face. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open. Teacher! Misha crashes in, hands straightened and enthusiastically greeting. Her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts towards the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with a rhythm. Muto, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Great, now all of China knows you're here. Mikado. Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong but has no idea what. Yes? We have talked about volume control before. Yes! But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So, what is it? We need help. We are running out of supplies for the festival stands. This is a distress. She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that? Plywood! Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little. But that time we just took it all and went with that. Now there's none left there. So you know where there is some? I don't understand. How would I know? Shichan. I mean, the president thought it was that a teacher would know if there is plywood. Was she wrong? Russo looks like he is in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible, like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I'm afraid I have no idea if there's any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any. Oh, what should I do? Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomiya? I'm sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold dead hands, of course, but that's a different matter. I don't have time. We're so busy. She holds her head with both of her hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumples the note she's holding against her hair. I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do and we are falling behind the schedule. Ruto looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. Hey! Let the man smile! I wonder if you could get some temporary help. He switches to staring at me, with a hard expression as if trying to say, go make some friends. I guess I can give you a hand. You can? Thanks, Ichan. You are really nice. She pauses, does a double take, then points at me with her finger, yelping, ah! And looking very puzzled. Come to think of it, what's Ichan doing here? Class is over, you should be having fun. Oh, we just had a little chat. Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Ichan? No, I'm not. Is Ichan in trouble, teacher? No, he's not. Uto sighs deeply, and I feel that I have to help Misha get her off the teacher's back. So, what do you need? Plywood. Here's a list. I can try to find the plywood from somewhere if there's none in the art room. She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I'd help you, but this has no implications on whether I'm joining the council or not. Aww. Still, thanks, Ichan. Try to be quick. We're in a stall building streak now. We must hurry, hurry, hurry. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's, I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list limply at the teacher, I exit to the hallway. There's that sneeze I was talking about like an hour ago. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side and 3-4 on the left side, each looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor still, with identical stores, are rooms that I didn't think were used for classes. Guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems either badly kept or not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room, a thin layer of dust settled on them. There's some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody, huh? Something catches my eyes, and I stop mid-sentence. Ah. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her toes and a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands. But her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I still somehow took her as part of the furnishing, or a statue at first glance.
I'm not being too observant today, as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence, and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello? The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth, and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here, for some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone in here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. She's still eating. That reminds me. I've seen someone who was, I believe, born without arms. It was one of those motivational type things at my college, the college that I went to. It was like, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. So they got a girl with no arms to give us a speech. And what was really impressive about her was the way she decided to prove to us, or, well, one of the ways at least, because she had some stories, of course, but one of the ways she physically decided to show us that you can work around any problem if you really set your mind to it, is she, by herself, opened up a can of soda and drank it with just her feet. She had to balance the can on the knuckle of her toe and put it up to her mouth and then tip the can up and drink it. It was genuinely impressive. I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. Of course, that whole thing ended with they gave us all, well, not all of us, but they offered cans of soda to us and said, hey, you try it. I did try it. I did not succeed. We, of course, didn't actually open the can so as to not spill soda anymore. We were just trying to see if we could, balance it and get them close to our mouth. Nobody succeeded, by the way. Nobody came even close. Nobody could do it. It was really impressive. Anyway, back to the story. Doesn't that mean you're here, then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You are pretty observant, I guess. Who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai, Asao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. Kinda bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is. She seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead. But, lunch? School's already over for the day. What word would you use then? There's no word for a meal after you eat lunch, but before dinner, right? Bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. Lupper? I think lupper works. I have curry. It's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. That's not what she means. She's talking about what brings you to the school. Haha! No, the school. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. I can guess. I am good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition. Or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is a part of the school social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. Can't relate to Shizune's circumstances, or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rune keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. Excuse me. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine, and less delicious. The problem must be in your pants! I don't think they send kids to school to a disabled school for erectile dysfunction. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right, there's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still, partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing that I can think of. No, nothing like that, I have a heart problem, arrhythmia. I said it. More like blurted it out, but I said it. Good job. Good for you. It's good you were able to talk about it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people, and a person with, you know, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh? So you just, like, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what was said. Heart issue is pretty standard. Yeah, especially in America. Although they kind of have different heart issues. Obesity will do that to you. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it, like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Hisao. I have a very serious heart condition. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. I feel like she definitely can get away with it more than most, right? Like, how can you get mad at the girl that has no arms, right? Oh, what's wrong with you? I mean, I'd get mad and ask what's wrong with you, but then I'd feel bad. So.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. As I walk to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Rin in front from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty, except for her murky green eyes which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. It's actually kind of crazy looking at. I remember specifically seeing how, with the girl with no arms again, I guess the angles that she could move her legs at was almost uncanny. And the way she could use her feet to grab things was just... It was wild. It was like watching someone with... They were like hands. She's like, oh yeah, I actually have like... Because I've had to use this for so long, I have much finer control over my toes. I think like all but her pinky were like... She could move them individually. It was crazy. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabins and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. So, do you always eat alone and this late? Or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors? Maybe you are my first occasional visitor. But I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. I wonder who that could be. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh, and that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Rin forks the last bits of her meal to her mouth. I look down at my haul and double check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you're gonna do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. No. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. Okay, Rin. I feel that our relationship is at this point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine, then I'm Hisao. Then you are. Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There's something like a tiny smile in her face. Maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that! What did she hear? I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow, she had gotten to jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I push that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof, as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited. No, wait, more importantly, who is in there? There's no club meetings today. She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hichan. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you were tardy. Oh, sorry. I got the things here. Was just gonna bring them. I think you're up to some mischief, Hichan. Who was in there with you, I wonder? Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she's experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders. From suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello! Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello! Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such, disgraceful activity. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune's/Misha's scoldings, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too. And we'll think about it harder. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it. Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't. Not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. It's true though. I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. So you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? Well, I suppose I can. This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks lightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman that I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can following, since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now, with Shizune and Misa gone. So we too leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to the other, because the thin handle cuts into my palm. I hate it when that happens. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me at an uneven pace, but I have trouble matching, or maybe I'm walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me, because obviously it's me who he had some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively, because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel less enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages, or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly. What I'd want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. And come to me if something happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently, this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. This is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spines, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you have taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such. I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times, like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you are still in your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Yes. Yeah, I promise. He studies me for a moment, then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog for a bit. Consultation. See you around. I wonder who could be wanting to jog. He leaves with a wave of his hand and a flip of his and no answer. And I walk to Rin, who has been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not our business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty. But Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there's some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she says neither anything further, nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Rin leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. The entire wall, made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground besides the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative space and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people, with hands. The reach is better, and it is faster too. She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever outfit there actually is, to demonstrate, even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeves flap around, and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would the hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project? You did this? Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I've walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blushed really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels that I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was at using her feet to eat, I figure painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looked like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat, you know. Flat. Like some people are. No substance, no meat where there should be some. I know a few girls who, okay, I get it. But I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. Can't name many artists or artistic terms. So I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders at that, saying, suit yourself, without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I want to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help as was Shizune. Really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help, though. It's just mixing some paints. You can do that, probably. You have motor control problems? Like, you know, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy, Maisie? Not that I know of. I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. She's funny. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between the toes of her bare right foot. I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the cans of the bowl, like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work, every now and then asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last millimeter before she's satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Add half a splash of green. Crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. The other green. This green. And carefully pour some of the light green, or some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. Or white. Is green a good color to add? No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corner of her mouth. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just that I have no idea. It's okay, because I just got an idea. Add more white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up, when you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but can't remember it. Maybe it's yellow? Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons, or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being born on the plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints, crouching down on the paving, and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. It's like what they say of artists who can feel smells or see sound. Yeah. I can't do any of that. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us says a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolved into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code for words for various paints and hues. As if there was some need to conserve words in breath and sound. We stay there into the late evening. Or we stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Alright, a new day. I think that's a good stopping point. Save. Create new save. Progress saved. Main menu. Yes. Alright, I like this. This is going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy this one. I can already tell. I can already tell. This is going to be a good one. We're going to play this like every single week now. I suppose that comes as no surprise. What a nice story so far. Yeah. I mean, we haven't really spoken with all the characters yet. I like all of them. They're all good. I don't know which character I want to, I don't know which route I want to go down yet. I thought I would actually be able to figure that out by the end of the stream, but no, I haven't. I really like all of them. They're good. I think this will be a fun one. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. We'll do this again. Tomorrow I will post, I actually technically showed it off on stream already, but tomorrow I'll post the full close-up of the new model, and perhaps I'll also show off the concept art, I guess we'll call it, as well. That should be a fun one. I'm gonna slowly... The close-up, yeah. Do I still have it on here? Yes, I do. Ta-da! Ain't she cute? So that's the new model. Ooh, yes, indeed. That should be ready for use in several months. I have a lot of art and stuff to show off, but I can't do that all at once. We got to conserve some of our secrets, as they say. But this is something that Kitty, the artist, and I have been working on for a very long time. It actually started originally as just another outfit, but it eventually changed into a redesign for a variety of reasons. Got here right at the end of the stream, but I've subbed, hoping to see more. Thank you, Ikaros. I'm sorry you missed the whole stream, but that's okay, because there's an entire VOD to watch if you want to. Do check out the community post for my schedule, because that has my stream stuff for the week. We got some, I think it's Limbus Company on Thursday, and then some Pal World on Friday, which I'm looking forward to, because I haven't played Pal World in quite a while, but I have been keeping a close eye on their updates, and they really want to work on this game, which surprised me, to be honest. They've put out a ton of free updates, and it just seems like it'll be fun. Better late than never. Fun stuff ahead this week. Yeah. I hope so. I hope so. Oh, also, I kind of want to... there's another game that I want to play. I actually originally was going to play it, and then I saw KATAWA SHOUJO. It popped up on like my timeline, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to play that. So that's what started it. But it's a little shooter called Bears in Space. And it looks super funny, super fun. So we'll probably be playing that at some point. Yep. Bears in Space. Yes, exactly. Bears in Space. I kind of want to tell you not to look it up and watch it, because it's something, I've seen a bit of it. It's something you need to experience. I think that's the easiest way to put it. So like, if you want to look it up, but don't spoil yourself on too much of it, okay? Alright, there's your homework assignment. Your homework assignment is don't spoil yourself. Alright? I think you can do that. I believe in you. You are one of my hat minions. I believe you have what it takes to do this. Anyway, I have got to go. I have work in the morning. So I will see you around. Thank you for stopping by. We will pick this up at some point next week. I wanted to say same time next week, but I don't actually know that yet. We'll pick this up again next week, and hopefully we'll maybe get a little closer to determining who our best girl is for this playthrough. Alright, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. See you around.